Hawaiian Pops, I want to talk to you about Wild Robot, an animated adventure film, which is probably among the best films of the year and definitely is in contention for best animated film of the year. But is it really that much for kids? I'm actually interested if any of you have seen this film, if you think that kids are all about this film, because there's cute animals in this robot, but it's not real childish. It's a very much a mature film that felt more like an Iron Giant than a Disney production. So it's not full of a lot of overtly goofy gags. There's a lot of humor. It's for kids and it's safe for kids, but I feel like again, it's more like the animated Pinocchio, the newer Pinocchio film that was done by Del Toro, than it is sort of like Inside Out film. So, love your thoughts on this. The premise is actually pretty simple. There's these robots that land on this remote island where there's just little creatures and cute little cuddly things going around. It actually activates one of them that survives. Its nickname will be Roz. Of course, the animals have no idea what it's even communicating. It takes a little while for it to even kind of figure out what to do because it needs a purpose. It needs to fulfill its mission, its programming, if you will, to figure out what its purpose in all of this is. And I have to admit, the strongest point, as you can see in the trailer, is the animation. By far, the visuals in this film is some of the best that have been done in the last couple of years. Fantastic, beautiful film. I loved every aspect of that. All right, as the film progresses, we get to the actual plot twist. Is he's attacked by a grizzly, and in the process of that, it breaks these eggs, and it feels guilty. It runs across this fox. We'll get to the fox in a minute. And the eggs is this little baby goose, and it has to, help this goose survive. And that is pretty much the premise kind of moving forward. Is it saving it? Look at the visuals, man. Every scene is just beautiful stuff. Really nice. And it basically becomes this motherly story of trying to raise this goose and, how it can fly, can it survive, all these things. And it's a runt. It does not have everything is stacked against it, and the robot is there to uh, accentuate things. So Pedro Pascal voices the fox Fink. He's there. He becomes like a nice, lovable character. He has a little story arc because he's trying to eat the goose, obviously, and then later on, he becomes like a friend of this group and actually a spokesperson, if you will, for Roz at the end of the movie. And this trailer does show you a lot of stuff, but I will be honest, it does not spoil the movie one iota. Such a great job of giving you all of the setup and the pitch without the journey stuff. So, this is, again, one of the reasons I think this movie has done well and should do well and will be honored in the Oscars and other critics as well, because it hits all of the beats in all of the right ways. The animation is top notch. The adults won't have a problem sitting through this film. I'm just not sure the kids want to sit through this film because it is more of a sluggish adventure thing, and it's not driven by like gag humor. It's not like a bunch of fart jokes or, there's plenty of gags and moments, but this is about heart and parenting and sacrifice and what's your identity and your purpose, and can you set aside feuds and fighting to just get along for the greater good, but greater good in a we all need to survive. So if we would just stop some of the violence, we could figure out how to survive together. So I liked all of those elements way more than I thought I would. All right, so Chris Sanders wrote and directed this, and this is really him coming into his own. He comes from the Disney house, right? Working as far back as like the Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin era. He is actually the co-creator or creator of Stitch, but he basically wrote and directed How to Train Your Dragon, The Croods, things of that nature that has done very, very well for Universal and DreamWorks. But this is really, really a home run for him. I have to be honest. I'm blown away on everything about it is satisfactory or excellent. There's nothing I can think of where I have a major qualm with the film other than the fact that it leans more into because the robot Roz is more like an amalgam of like Iron Giant and Big Hero 6's Baymax. It's a little bit of this, it's a little bit of that. It's really not totally new. So I was really in the first part of the movie kind of like, all right, but then the heart kicks in, the parenting kicks in, the messaging kicks in, sacrifice kicks in, caring, loving. I'm like, wow, this is really, really good. So I don't know who to give total props to other than Chris Sanders, but I can just say he deserves a lot of accolades for this. And this is a film that I can really recommend for you. Very, very strong. I need to watch it again. I really wanted to watch it with the grandkids, but that didn't work out. I really wanted to get their vibe on how they were reacting to the film. I want to sit through it again. I really did enjoy it. I'm going to lean into a very strong 4 out of 5 for this movie. The rewatchability is probably where it's going to move it up or down. It's either going to go into like the 7.5, or it's going to lean much closer to the 4.5. So we'll see how it goes. I'm of the opinion it's probably going to stay very strong at like a 4.5. A 4 out of 5 is probably where it's going to land for me. Very, very good. I don't know how Disney keeps that Oscar Inside Out to now, because I found Inside Out to be extremely overrated for the amount of money that it made. It's a fine film, but not worth the hype. This is worth every minute of your time. That's my take on it. I'd love to hear from you guys. Thanks for watching. I am Pops.